everyone, welcome back to another episode of Backstage Spotlight. Today we have a Greece special episode with Hope and Marley. Hello.
Yeah,
How are you both? Busy from a long day of rehearsals?
yes,
Yeah.
definitely busy and sweaty, but all
Yeah.
good, yeah.
So, how long have you been rehearsing for Greece?
So this is
Third week.
halfway through the third week, yeah, and it's been
Wow.
crazy.
So,
Yeah.
It's been
how long
crazy.
have you got left? What is the rehearsal span, like the process? How long is that?
So we've got
One
another
more
week
week.
here, and then we go into the theatre and then we start like tech and open in Bromley. But yeah, another week of rehearsals, and then yeah, we're in.
So, do you want to both do a little introduction of yourselves and say who you're playing in the show?
Mhm. Wanna go first?
Okay. I'm Hope Door and I'm playing Sandy.
I'm Marley Fenton, and I'm playing Danny Zuko.
Amazing. So, Hope, how was your audition experience?
It was really fun. I think the first round was dance. It was dance, cut, sing. And then sing again. And it was really fun. Like it's I've done. So I was very, I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was so much fun. And everyone like on the creative team and people in the auditions were really supportive and lovely. So yeah, it's really fun. Had a great
Great.
time.
And what about you, Marley? How was your audition process?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was interesting because I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
when I went in the first time and for a dance call, I didn't know that I was auditioning for Danny. I just kind of knew that I was going into audition for Greece. Um, and yeah, it was so much fun because like the choreography is so much fun. And it is such a feel-good show that you have so much fun doing the material and stuff. And
Yeah.
um I think it was nice that like it's not necessarily the same with loads of different shows, but with Greece specifically, it literally spanned over about a week and a half from the first audition to the last audition when sometimes people you don't come for a month or however long. So yeah, it was really nice that it was kind of up and running and all the rounds were quite close to each other, and but I had a lot of fun,
Yeah.
definitely.
That is a really quick process for an audition. Hope,
Yeah.
what would you say to someone who is fresh to auditioning? What would you give as advice for someone in that position?
I think just enjoy it. Like it sounds really silly, but I had no auditions. I didn't, the first audition I'd done, I was just really excited. And I think that's potentially what helped me get the job was that I was just there to enjoy it and, come prepared, obviously, like be ready, know what you're doing, but also just, especially I think when you're in drama school or fresh out, like enjoy that first audition process rather than put so much pressure on yourself to get it right. Because I think, yeah, and you learn more from that as well. That would be
Yeah.
Mm.
And Marley, what would you say your process is from getting the audition through to the actual audition day? How do you prepare?
Well, I think it's interesting. It probably, it differs between what you're auditioning for, I guess, and what the audition is going to be. But I think with Greece specifically, I just kind of had to do a bit of research on the show and, on the film and on, the characters in the show. And like I said, I didn't know who I was auditioning for, but I knew I was going in and I was going to be dancing. Um, and I wasn't sent any material, like I wasn't singing anything or doing any of the scenes. So, material wise, there wasn't necessarily much to learn. But I think as it was just kind of, yeah, just doing your research and knowing the style of it. So then when you get in and you do dance it, you're ready. And again, just like having fun and not really thinking too deeply into it. I think regardless of what the thing is, if it's a show you've never heard about or your dream show, like you've really just got to go in and have fun because you never know what they're looking for and what they're not looking for and things like that. So yeah, definitely just researching it and making sure you know the style. And even if like on the email that you get through of who's going to be in the room, maybe it'd be good to like research them. Arlene Phillips choreographed this. So maybe, just do some research on her, her style and what she'd maybe be like and things like that. So, but yeah.
Yeah, great. Hope, what is your like main thing that you do during rehearsals to make sure that you get all of that content in your head? Because Sandy and Danny are huge parts, and I just can't even to begin to imagine how much that is to learn and take on.
Mhm. I'm very lucky that in the show I do not have to dance half as much. I don't really dance. So I was very lucky that early on, when it came to like scenes and singing, I was able to go home and really just prioritize making sure I know my lines and where I'm going, which I know was obviously a bit harder for you dances. But yeah, I would just say like it's really hard because I think when you go home, you just want to like not do anything or think about it. But it was important that I sort of was going home and refreshing my mind. And I think we're moving quite quick.
Yeah.
Like we finished Act 2 in 3 days and we're
Wow.
running tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, I'd love to go over it. But yeah, I think it's just keeping it going, obviously give yourself a break, but going over what you've done in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. And Marley, what about you? How do you navigate that?
I think it kind of differs between what you're going to be doing over the next few days, I think, because in the first week we learned a lot of choreography. And as much as, I would like to say I go home and go over all of the choreo, if we've got the videos down and there's things like that, I always prioritize what I know I will need to know days and things like that. And we learned a lot of, let's say, Act 2 choreography in the first week that only Monday just gone we actually started doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think just navigating and prioritizing the things you need to prioritize. And just I say it again, but just the research of like what the style is like, because I think it's really easy to just come into the room and read the lines as they are on the paper, but Greece specifically has got such a style, and it was in such an important and like very iconic period of time, like the 50s in America. It's very iconic that I think throughout rehearsals, whether it's dancing, singing, or acting, like the style and the I don't know the grittiness of the show is what kind of needs to come through the whole time. So I think that's what I've been trying to do. But yeah, just going home, being in your kitchen and doing Grease Lightning. I think that is definitely something that I've been doing, but yeah.
Oh, great. And what a soundtrack the show has. I mean, it's amazing. And Hope, Sandy has got some belters. What's your favourite song to sing?
That's tough.
I think I love the reprise, the Sandra D reprise right
Yes.
near the end. It's just really good, and I think we've really like honed in on the message of it being like she's taking her independence, and there's something about that. I mean I like all the songs, to be honest. I enjoy all of them, but I think that one's probably my favorite to like belt out. I'm like, yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
So nice. And what about you, Marley? What, even singing or dancing, which is your favourite number?
I mean, I do love Grease Lightning. I love it because it's just so feel good and everyone knows it. It's so iconic. I also love You're the One That I Want, like because that's a classic as well. It's so iconic that just being able to play Danny Zuko and sing those songs is just quite baffling and quite cool. But yeah, definitely those two. And I think because they're one in each act, I feel like I can get away with that.
Yeah. Oh, it must be so much fun. How did you both react when you found out that you got the parts?
I just did the same thing.
I was absolutely like, and it wasn't even, I was baffled because I thought as well, like, that I didn't even think it was my type of role or something that I was, even, I don't know, even looked at that I would play something like that. So I think when I did the final audition, I kind of walked away and I thought, honestly, I've done what I needed to do, and whatever else from that. And I've had a really good time, and I've met Arlene Phillips and I've met all the creatives and things like that. And I've danced the dance and I go home and, it is what it is. So that was just a huge bonus, and honestly, just crazy, crazy news. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I was I was in shock. I actually didn't know I was in to play Sandy. I thought I was in to play, well, I auditioned for Marty. So I did Sandy material to cover it, but I literally did not expect to get Sandy. So I was like, what?
Oh, how overwhelming must that feeling be? Like just getting that call, that email. It's amazing.
Honestly,
It really is. If you could
Crazy.
play another character in the show that's not your part, what would it be?
ooh,
I'm saying Kaneki.
fair enough. Fair enough.
He's so cool.
He is cool. I think, it's really tough. I think I would say, oh,
What
I
are you
don't
gonna
know.
say?
I want to
It's
say,
not deep.
no, I want to say Cha-Cha because like
Oh, that
she's
is
just,
cool.
That's
it's
a good
it's a
part.
cool role and that she gets to be in all the other numbers and things
Mhm.
like that, and in the school and stuff like that. And then she comes out, she's the best dancer in St. Bernard.
Yeah.
So she comes out, she wins the hand jive, and then she goes. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I think it's such a cool role, and she's amazing. And the cha-cha that we have is absolutely insane. She's called Dina,
Insane.
and she's amazing. But yeah, I think that's a cool role, and I'd love to
Like,
do that. Not that I could
yeah.
dance it, but I would try.
Amazing. Have you had costume calls yet? What are the costumes like?
Oh yeah.
So cute.
Mm.
I love
You
my
say yours, don't
outfits.
you? Yeah.
What are your favorite ones and what are they like?
Mm.
My favorite is my hopelessly the prom dress. It is
No.
so cute. It's like a long pink dress with like little flower.
Oh.
It's really cute. That's my favorite one.
Mm,
I love it.
mm.
What's your
I don't know. I don't know about my favorite, but I think just putting that leather jacket on, honestly, just it's like your armor and it just goes, right, I know who I am now. Do you know what I mean? And it's so much easier to kind of play the role and be, with the it's that like I don't know, it just feels like as soon
Yeah.
as you put it on that you're it. So I love the leather jacket. I also love my my costume for the hand jive. It's like this cool, like, and I've got these cool like bowling type shoes. But honestly, yeah, so much fun. I'm really excited for it, definitely.
Great. For someone who wants to get into musical theatre performing,
Mhm.
what would you say they should do? Because I get a lot of people saying, like, I really want to go into this, but I think I'm too old. I don't think I'm as good as this skill. Like dancing isn't as good as my singing. Like, what would you say to a person like that for them to keep going?
I feel like I would definitely say just don't compare
Mhm.
because I think a lot of the time it's very hard, whether you're in drama school or whether you're just auditioning or, even, younger than that, whether you're doing it on the side of school and things like that. We're always around other people and we're always around mirrors and, it's so easy to look at someone else and think that they're better than you and think that, you're not as good at certain types of things, whether it's dancing or whatever, acting. But I think, yeah, just remember that you're on your own journey and that like if someone's smashing it next to you, that doesn't mean that you're not good.
Mm.
I know people who have, gone 3 years without doing anything and then, but the most amazing thing in the world, like it is just timing and just knowing that you're on your own journey and things like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's definitely what I would say.
Yeah. And like take the pressure off yourself a little bit. Like I think
Yeah.
especially at drama school, there's this expectation that you've got to leave and you've got to get out there and get a job straight away. And actually you don't. And everyone's at like a different like path.
Yeah, so true. Hope, what would you say is the biggest challenge you've faced in your journey so far?
Ooh.
Hmm. I don't know.
That's a good question.
My
Get
biggest
thinking, Marley,
challenge.
because you're next.
Yeah, I was about to
Okay,
say,
perfect.
hmm, that's really hard question.
Like whether it be in drama school, an audition experience.
I think for me, it was definitely in drama school, like going going to drama school and kind of being around so many people that are amazing at what we do. Like I said, don't compare. I was one of
Mm.
those people who would compare, and I think it's so hard a lot of the time that you just kind of you just fall into the trap of going, oh, but I'm not as good at this, or it's so easy to do that. So I think the hardest thing for me was breaking out of that and going, no, I deserve to be here and I'm good at what I do and this is what I'm here for. Like if I was completely perfect, what is the point in going and training, or what is the point in, going to class, or, going to singing lessons and acting lessons and things like that? There's no point for it if if you're perfect at what you do. So I think just realizing that and breaking the fact of like, you want to train and you want to get better, and that's not a bad thing. Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, the same. I think my first year at drama school was hardest because we did like singing styles that I wasn't very like familiar with and didn't feel very confident with. And I think when you're thrown into a new year group and you're trying to make friends with everyone and you feel like everyone can excel at the one thing you can't do, it can be really hard. But I think it's that thing like, just don't, because it's so much easier said than done. But yeah, it's when you spiral down, when you start,
Yeah. It's such a hard time, but it's just that perseverance, isn't it? And just knowing that you are on your own path, as you said, and that what other people are doing isn't your business. Like, you need to stay on track, kind of get those blinkers on so that you stick at it.
Yeah.
True.
How are you both feeling about the tour life?
Oh, I think I'm very excited. I mean, I just finished a tour with Wizard of Oz, and I had a really, really great time. I think it's funny because you're just always spending time with like the people around you. You're always just, you're doing absolutely everything together because, you're in just these cities up and down the country that it is a lot of fun. I think obviously you're going to miss, your home, whether it be, you're based in London or your home, but I do think it is a lot of fun, and I think it's a nice like little break, and just to see, loads of different places in the UK that you wouldn't usually go to just for fun, and being able to go and, you're going to work, but it doesn't feel like work. You just go in and you're performing on stage for loads of people in, random cities. But yeah, I think that's what I'm excited for.
I'm the same. I'm just excited to, like, everyone in the cast is like great.
Yeah.
It's so lovely. I feel like we're just gonna have the best time. And with a show like this as well, it's just so like uplifting and happy. And I feel like we're just gonna like finish every day on a high. And I'm just really, I'm same.
Yeah. In the tour schedule, what is the city you're most excited to go to?
Definitely Manchester for me. I mean, simply because that's where I'm from, and loads of people will be able to come and things like that. And I've grown up going to watch things at the Palace Theatre, and that's where we're going. And honestly, it'll be a real full circle moment.
So
Definitely.
wholesome.
Yeah.
That is so cute. I'm excited to go to Dublin.
Yeah.
I just think it's gonna be so cool, and I've never been. So I'm just,
what a great opportunity to travel as well. See
literally
the whole of the UK.
Yeah.
It's great. So for those watching, would you like to say when you open and what city?
So we open on the 10th, I want to say. Oh gosh.
the 11th.
The 11th. Oh gosh, that's awful. But so it's
10th or
Friday.
11th.
I thought it would be here.
Yes, 10th or 11th of Oh no, it's the 12th. It's the 12th.
12th.
The 12th of April in Bromley, and we're there for 2 weeks.
So
For 2 weeks.
if you're near Bromley, guys, 12th of
Yes.
April, Bromley, go and see Greece. Amazing. And how long is the tour for?
November, so around 8 or 9 months is how long it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So plenty of time for everyone to catch it.
Definitely.
Plenty of
Going everywhere.
Oh, brilliant. And the last thing I always ask all of my podcast guests is if you could invite someone, so in this case on the Grease team or in the performance industry, to come and impart their knowledge on my podcast, who would it be?
Ooh. I think it's got to be Arlene Phillips. Like, honestly, I just think, she's amazing, and her knowledge, like when she comes into rehearsals and, talks us through it, like her knowledge has no limits. Like she, especially with Grease specifically, because she worked on the original, in the 90s, and she lived through the times that we're kind of, we're trying to portray. She came up to me and Cha-Cha, funnily enough, and she was like, it isn't that we were doing choreography. It's just that, imagine you're doing a TikTok dance and things like that. And because that is how, at the time, they were just having fun and just doing a jive and just dancing and, being out together. And I think that type of knowledge really making us understand and because she lived through it. But yeah, I
Amazing.
think she would be a cool guest, definitely.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you all of the best with your last week or
Thank
so of
you.
rehearsals. And to everyone listening, make sure you head over to the socials, follow all of the Grease pages, see where they are if they're coming to a town near
Yes.
you. And we'll see you soon. Thank you,
Love
guys.
it. See you
Yay.
soon.
See ya.
Thanks.